Good day, Zimbabweans in the nation and around the world, joining us live here on zimi.com. If you're coming in right now, do let us know which part of Zimbabwe you're logging in from or which part of the world it is. Type in the comment box right there. And our viewers, readers and listeners, we are here for news review. We shall be exploring the top and trending stories from in and around Zimbabwe. And as we begin right now, do press the share button.
a few audios from Mr. Clive Malunga himself.
Absolutely. What I could do is just while we're there, Wulu, I could actually play one of his clips, which is video based. Would you like me to play from here while we're waiting for him? I apologize. I think there must be some network issue over there in Harare at present, because I even tried directly. He knows his schedule because he confirmed very, very late last night, nearly midnight, and he should be in as soon as possible. We could also bring in Comrade Chakachaya in briefly while we're waiting on him. And let me see if we can do this quickly. Right. Comrade Chakachaya, you could maybe come in and momotipa a bit of a curtain raiser, if you can. Right. Let me just do this quickly. I've got one of his video clips here. Can I play from here, Wulu?
Yes, no problem.
Thank you.
That is called nonsense. Back, front and center. Are you sure, Guti? And we are quiet. Do you know why you are quiet? Because you are quiet because imini murukuchka nokuti vanhu vakapfurwa nepfuti vakafa ndobva machichidzirwa. Saka muri kutaura kuti makomrades vese vakafa kuchimoyo, thousands, hundreds vevanhu vakafa vese vaida kufa. Makataisa mugroup mangu every day vanhu varingochema, and every day makomrades ungonzwa kuti zororai murugare kufa. Hapana zuva ratinopfuura pagroup redu remakomrades pasina kunzi nematambudziko. Why are you not making this country happy? Why are you making your family only your family? Nehama dzenyu, neshamwari dzenyu, nemakuruku ese. And makuruku ese akaona weakness ya Mnangagwa. President, muri wiki, mdara muri wiki. Mdara muri wiki. Wiki munaya, no. Honestly, zvimwe kwese uku muno zveintelligence muchitungamiriwa hongu ndobvuma. Apa kuti muchidhonze chimuti cha mdara mugone. I'm very sorry. Apa mdara mugone. I'm very sorry. Nise mwana wenyu. I am telling you honestly. Kugona chaiko ku leader. No, you are not a good leader. You are vicious. You want to make people cry. Hamunzwe vanhu zvese zvikutotaurwa muri kufunga kuti vanhu vari kuita majokes. Do you know how people are suffering muno munyika muno? Terrible suffering. This country has gone to the dogs. Kana usingabve kumusha, kana usingaere mutupo wokumusha, unodya izvozvo. Saka ukangozikamwa chete kuti uri wekumusha iwe otopinda. Sekuti ndena ndisingakwanise kuti ndibve mukati menyika muno ndichimboenda kunana Asia, kunana South Korea nekunana Japan ndichinoreza mari ndichiita futi pool of people vanhu vakanditenderedza ve-fan club. Unotozomira watoona utoti baba mumba omo ndeve kusekasi chaiyo. Because muri kuita zvechiclown. Drama yamuri kuita president. This is a drama. And amunyare futi kana muromo menyu munobudisa mashoko ekutuka. A leader. Tuka kuti anzi nongobukura. Do you think you're in a position to say kuti munhu wemuZimbabwe imbwa? Because kana muchiti unongobukura istichingotongo, you are saying kuti uri imbwa yenyarara. And you are saying that to your child. I think it's unfair, and I think Mazimbo, ndakanzwa mama ku South Africa vachiti vamunoti chimama vachiti kuvarume muri kupi. I felt so bad. Could I'm one of varume? Let's unite vana Zimbabwe. All this nonsense must stop. Thank you.
Jena Guru. Sorry, Hulu, there's someone who is in the request. Have you seen request box? I can't see the individual. Do you mind pulling the person up, please?
His name, but that's senior that is requesting. So,
I see.
Comrade Clive Malunga, if you can hear us in any way, please make a request so it becomes easier for us to see you, or send a message to the host or to me, and then we can be able to check up on you and find out and make it happen. Otherwise, we can even also make a phone call and put him online so that he can be able to be heard and he can be able to hear people speak. If the connection is poor, that we can as well do. So, Silva, keep on working on it.
Yes, I'm still literally on it. Yeah. I apologize.
Yeah.
I just I'll keep punching and
no problem.
and ensuring that we get him onto the dashboard quickly, ASAP. Let me also get I think I've got his picture also on there on video. Right. Okay, quickly. Our viewers and listeners, who exactly is Clive Malunga? Clive Malunga is a musician. He is a war veteran and born in 1960, according to the record that I'm reading right now, at a valley. It's on a farm called Valley or Kingsdale Farm, some 5 kilometers from the town of Norton. And what else? Sorry, I apologize. The read up is yes. Now I've got it on my screen now. So, although Malunga's, oh my God. Right, so here we go. My apologies. So although Malunga's Malunga's totem is Shiri Hungwe, so he's actually so he's a brother to me, right? So he's a Shiri. Shiri is the African surname, and it also happens to be my African surname. Okay. His father came from Mozambique, a town called Vila Zumbo. We are of the Chikunda tribe. I was born on November 25, 1960. I was born on a farm called Valley or Kingsdale Farm, some 5 kilometers the town of Norton. Did primary school education at St. Eric's in Norton. Both my late mother and father were domestic workers at Kingsdale Farm. I worked very hard to run away from the environment which I grew up in, trying to be a soccer player, but I settled for music as a career. I joined the music industry in 1985, and I released a vinyl single called Marimba Jive. It was an icebreaker. It did not take me anywhere. Through perseverance, I managed to strike the right chord in 1997 when I recorded the album Nesango. Right, 1997, I was in my teenage at that time. 1992, we formed Jenaguru Arts Center. The same year, we launched the first Jenaguru Music Festival at Harare Gardens. It was successful. In 1993, we moved the Jenaguru Festival to Kwanzura Stadium. Our last festival was staged at the National Sports Stadium. We invited music groups from the United States, Egypt, Mozambique, Zambia, Malawi, and South Africa. Jenaguru Arts Center started doing cultural exchange programs in Japan in 2002. We were also invited to perform in South Korea on a music school cultural exchange program. Because of the coronavirus pandemic this year, we canceled our tour to South Korea, Taiwan, and Japan. We're also selling our CDs and DVDs in South Korea and Japan. We're doing extremely well. We're currently working with the Zimbabwe government to produce a short film, Nesango. I was working with music engineers and producers from the DRC. So genuine representation in parliament. First and foremost, we must have a genuine representative parliament, and the minister in charge of arts and culture must be in a position. Okay, so this is largely predominantly about his music and arts career, this record that I'm reading at present. And what else can I pick up? Hi, Hulu. Yeah.
I want to find out that account. When you were speaking to him, that account which we see on Twitter, is it his official account? Is it really his account?
You know what? Even the Twitter account, he did not give me any Twitter account at all. He's going to be connecting to us. There's someone who is following us here. It suggests that it is his.
But we will be asking him when he comes over.
Yes,
and then it will be easier for us to know
in the future. Absolutely, in the future, what we just do, we will just we will just connect to him in that fashion. Absolutely, yeah. But I can definitely tell you there's something dodgy on the network over there, because there are over 20 or so missed calls from me at present. And I've tried to do a direct call once again, and somehow I can't even get through on a direct call, which is so frustrating.
All right, work on it, and then anybody that might want to come up to the speakers to just talk as we wait for their connection, you can come up to the speakers.
Absolutely, Let's Thank you very much, Wulu. I also want to just quickly say, drop one or two things. There's a circulating social media a message. It's still unverified at present, that suggests that Wikno Chivayo has splashed $150,000 to war veterans or something like that. Excuse me, to MPs, right, Hulu? So that they sabotage
to the members of parliament. Yes, to the members of parliament. So we have not yet confirmed that to be, but somebody did say that yes, every MP is going to be getting $150,000. Of course, and the new car as well. Let me just look at the information. I'll be giving you the exact words that we use on that one. So 150,000 being dangled to every MP. Well, of course, this everybody knows is about the 2030 agenda, and we also have, information to do with Mr. Tungwarara. Mr. Tungwarara. He says that every war veteran is going to receive $44. Guys, this is unbelievable. Yesterday, I worked out the numbers, and I told you that the amount which they had offered to war veterans, would work up to about $50 per war veteran. And here is Tungwarara speaking directly, with his own words. Just listen to him.
Every province is going to receive $150,000 under the presidential war veteran fund. This is just a start, There is a term which says always start. If you want to grow big, always start small. So we have started to disperse the funds, the war veteran funds, under the name of the president. And so far today, the Manigan Mashingo and the National and East, they have received their funds. And the funds are going to be used. They are going to be used by the war veterans in that province. But obviously, there's a procedure of the approval before the funds are released, which includes the budget, which includes the hierarchy of the war veterans. When they've approved, then the funds are dispersed. And there's going to be a board which we are going to announce very soon, which is going to take care of, which is going to be an eye to watch these funds that has been dispersed, if they are being used correctly, if the projects are being done. One thing I want to tell you is these funds are going to be borrowed, right? The war veterans take from this fund, and they must retain it so that other war veterans, they can also come and borrow, but it is zero interest.
Right, guys. This money that he says war veterans must come and borrow is $44.
But we didn't hear the actual figure. Do you know? Is it possible to change the position of that, or maybe you can send it over here?
It's the quality of the audio is not very good, and so even if I can change the position, you will probably struggle to hear it. So it's $150,000 per province, which would equate to $44 per war veteran. But these war veterans are supposed to borrow the $44 without interest. They said we start small. That is what happens. So war veterans
$44. Is this the same Tungwarara who's getting that 42 million for building a general estate house?
That's him.
Phone number again. Give me his phone number, please, so I can just talk to him. No, seriously, I'm not.
The war veterans are supposed to be borrowing $44, and there will be no interest charged on the $44, and they're supposed to bring the $44 back, and then so that money can be given to the other war veterans. It is a shame. It is really a shame. But we are not surprised. This is the reality that we face in our country. That war veterans are not really taken seriously at all. And he mentioned also that it will be given, the money will be given according to a hierarchy in every province, a hierarchy of who are you in the war veteran. So just as other people were suggesting yesterday, you are likely going to see all the money being given to just a few people. But listening up again to, as we just wait for that connection again, ladies and gentlemen, Zimai is still fighting with it. Connection can be a problem from Zimbabwe, as you know.
We've got two people who want to come in, and I can't see them.
You see, their network is also very poor. The other one has just dropped now.
Is it a Zimbabwe? Is it a Zimbabwe thing? Is it a Zimbabwe thing? Because I'm just wondering why on earth is this happening? Because
yeah, but sometimes when you connect it to Starlink and connect it to Wi-Fi properly, you can have balance. I can read when my network is very bad and I'm unable to participate. Network can be very, very bad. But then, well, let me just play up to, this is, Clive Malunga speaking recently. Listen up.
We have now become a country of beggars, where Chivayo will come and donate to the church 1 million and donate cars to musicians. Where is he working? What is the source of his income? Where is he getting this money? We all want to know. Zimbabweans are eager. We cannot go that low. Nyika yedu ine mari yakatokwana. Isiria Mnangagwa. Isiria Ziyambi. Isiria Kazembe. Ma-resources yavakuita misuse. Ndiye kutese. And mimi mukaundita vatakurambira varipo vanotoziva kuti Mnangagwa vakangopfa kuti tichimora futi mari hazvichaita. So what they do is kuti muntaraunda imuripo zvavanga vachiita zvaMugabe zviya kuti aMugabe vachatonga vari muguva. Kune matsotsi izvozvi makaona imi mana wiki neuchivhaya vakutenga ndege. President wenyika anotora wiki neuchivhaya kwakumuisa apa, kwakutora William Ruto president wekukenya kwakumuisa apa, president wedu omira apa, mavice president omira kumashure. Chivhaya arwane ane anorema arema. And you want me to keep quiet? Comrade Malunga, it was nice talking to you. Thank you, my brother.
Right, so we hear, the statements from Comrade Malunga. And guys, if you want to just come up and speak, of course, this is his message. This is his message. Of course, when we have him here physically, it is going to be much easier for us to get more information on what does he mean. Patika, welcome to the space. Please go ahead. Ika?
Thanks, Ulu Chambotera. I just got here.
All right, that's fine. No problem.
That's okay. Yeah, I'll chip in later. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is very sad that you can hear a war veteran, a decorated war veteran, being so worried about what is happening with their country. Yesterday, we had the opportunity to have Comrade Chakachaya, another war veteran, speak to us. And he ended up even breaking down on the space because he can't fathom, a situation where those who are in power, who are actually supposed to be their colleagues, or supposed to be, fellow war veterans, who are supposed to remember those who died before 1980, those who never saw an independent country, who are supposed to understand the welfare of war veterans, who are supposed to understand that this country is supposed to develop for the same people. As soon as they get into power, they tend to forget people. That's the reason why we have always been saying that even among those that are in the opposition, it is important that we challenge each other. They speak to the people. When you make mistakes, you can correct your mistakes. Remember, not all of us have been seeing things the same way. Okay. Some of us have also never understood how we are supposed to relate with others. But through learning and through talking to others, we tend to get to understand these issues. So we continue to wait, for that connection to happen, and we pray and hope that that connection will happen, and we can be able to hear from, war veteran Clive Malunga. But it is important, fellow Zimbabweans, for you to know that this country can never get to where you want it to be if you don't participate in it. Because those that are war veterans participated in the 1970s so that we can have an independent, free, and supposedly prosperous nation. And today here we are. We have seen it in Burkina Faso with Ibrahim Traore, and we've seen how it is possible to live a very humble and simple life. As long as you can have food, you can have shelter, and you can have clean water, I think that is enough. The problem with us is that we have got this sense of accumulation, thinking that, you need to make more and more money at the expense of everybody. It is not necessary. It is not necessary at all. If you can just have food, you can have shelter, and you have a simple car that you drive, and we have good public transportation system in the country. That is what we need. We have good roads, good hospitals, and all that. That is good life. Tell me, what is the point of somebody who is almost 90 years having 2 billion in the bank? So what are you going to do with the 2 billion in the bank? Honestly, for what purpose are you going to use it for? Really? So sometimes we have to be realistic and understand that it is not worth it at all. It is not worth it at all. It is by far better if we have more and more of our people getting empowered. And when that happens, we can all be able to be happy in our country, rather than having only a few. So to me, it is very shocking that somebody wants to accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. And at the end of the day, I don't see any benefit of such kind of accumulation at all. When you eat food in a day, you also eat in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening, just like everybody else. So it is not like when you have 1 billion, you are going to eat, 7 plates of rice, or you are going to eat, 20, we can say 20 cups of tea. No, you still drink only 1 cup of tea. So this mentality, we have to remove it among our people. This mentality of thinking that there is anything special about buying 30 cars and parking them in your garage, and you drive only 1 car at a time. There's no value in that. There's honestly no value in that. So we must just encourage each other, ladies and gentlemen, so that we become better human beings. I'm very happy that I'm joined also by Comrade Leonard Coney. He has got vast experience in security services. And Comrade Coney, as we are struggling to connect to war veteran Clive Malunga, I've no doubt in my mind that this message needs to resonate with many of our people, that having 20 pairs of shoes and having 3 pairs of shoes is exactly the same. There's not much difference as long as you can be able, to wear them and you walk from one place to the other. What do you think, Comrade Coney, with this mentality of thinking that I should be having 50 cars parked in my garage and somebody should be washing those cars every single day with nothing, and I don't pay them? What is your take? Please go ahead.
Good morning, Hulu. Can you hear me? Just testing my.
Yes, I can hear you, Comrade Coney. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, listeners. The host, Zimai, Simba Chikanza, Comrade Hulu, and some of the speakers and the listeners. Yeah, we have got a problem in Africa. I don't know whether it's happening in Africa. I haven't researched much on what is happening in other countries in Europe. But this obsession of cars, many houses, and so forth, it's a problem affecting the African continent, whereby we amass wealth and we think that having 200 pair of shoes is something very, very important. Is there any other day whereby one day you would put on those 200 pairs of shoes? Sorry, there's a bike passing through. Is there any other day where you can put those 4 pairs of shoes at the same time? Is there any other day whereby you drive those 2 cars or 3 cars at the same time? We should adopt, or we should learn from the Magufuli type of government, when Magufuli used to lead by an example, going to work, maybe cycling on a bike. I don't know what is happening in Africa, especially Zimbabwe, whereby we think having more money and more concubines, that will not make us great. I'm worried about what Wikileaks is doing, giving money to people, able-bodied people, like this musician. Jack Fraser is a well-known musician, doing very well, but accepting a car from Chivai is so embarrassing. And what does it teach to the young people who are growing up? Are we supposed to give people already have something, or should you say the little we have with the poor? There are many people who are suffering, who doesn't have food on the table, and we know things are very tough. Some are not even going to school. If you go to the rural areas, there are young people who are walking more than 2-4 kilometers barefooted. They are getting into toilets barefooted without shoes. But we've got this kind of people who wants to push their propaganda or their narrative, trying to support the incumbent. It's so terrible.
And Comrade Coney, as you speak like that, we have our own president. There's nothing wrong in speaking like that. This is what they fought for. They fought for freedom of speech. We have got our own president. He has been a minister since 1980. Now he is a president, and now there are people who are saying he must continue. And he's 82 years old. He's getting to 83 years old. He has been in government since 1980.
He needs another 5 years to fulfill the programs. He needs another 5 years.
Yeah. Why? I mean, what for? 5 years for what? What for? Mnangagwa has been in the government for the past 45 years. What programs does he want to finish? Does it mean that if he goes or if he dies today, those programs cannot go ahead? It's all obsession of power. Mnangagwa wants to consolidate power. That's why we've seen him trying to shove out other political forces, trying to capture the opposition, and trying to put Sengezo Shabangu trying to destroy all the corners of the opposition and trying to eliminate all those people, dissenting voices. It's so bad that Mnangagwa is so much obsessed with the power. What projects is he talking about? We've got this Harare Bite Bridge Road. Is it finished? I last drove that road 2 years ago. Up to now, it hasn't been finished. Money is being stolen through toll gates. Where is the money going? Our roads are not doing very well. What is happening to the people? I mean, there are people without even uniform. You can't even identify them at some border. How many people are being fleeced? Hard in the case at the same border.
It is, Comrade Connie, as you speak like that, it is really disappointing. I mean, to note that many people we have got young people. Joshua Gomo, he said that Zimbabwe will not die, but its young people are going to rescue it. But you have seen Marakashi getting cars and others, getting money. And all of a sudden, they completely forget about, their parents who cannot afford to go to good hospitals. They completely forget about the need for them to enlighten our elders so that they are aware of the challenges facing as Zimbabwe. Do you consider, as I'm going to go also to Bishop Emmanuel Moyana now shortly, Comrade Connie, in terms of, do you consider that it is necessary for a young person to not tell the president that the situation on the ground is not right, simply because he wants to just get $1,000 US, but his mother is suffering, cannot get medicines at the clinic. His young brother cannot go to school, but cannot go to school. His sister has to sell their body outside of Zimbabwe to send money back home. And he himself, by simply getting a $1,000 US, he says that, oh, now I'm fine. What can we do to make it possible for young people to realize that they have a duty to protect the future of our country? Comrade Connie, briefly, and then I go to Bishop Moyana, who has just joined us, Dr. Emmanuel Moyana. Welcome to the space.
Okay, thank you. Let me just put it briefly. The problem is it's poverty, which has driven a lot of young people into such kind of submissions, into such kind of being bribed by $1,000 US. They don't know that if employment is there, if employment is created for them, they can make that money more of it and put into their banks. So we've never heard about this individual speaking about unemployment problems since he took power. The last words that I heard when he was talking about employment was during the 2017 coup, when he was addressing to the masses that jobs. People want jobs. And where are the jobs? Since he took over power from 2017, I've never heard them addressing unemployment problems. So it's easy now. He creates a situation whereby people will be beggars, and then he will allow those people to be manipulated. This is what is happening with Emmerson Mnangagwa. So we can't rely on what he is doing. He's a leader who is miserably failed. Mnangagwa has dismally failed, and right now is thinking of working for a third-term plan. Yet there are unemployed people. Those people who are crying, eating the freebies and the crumbs thrown under the table. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Comrade Connie. Please hang on there, because your submission is very good and your experience is something that is inspiring to many of us. Let me go to Dr. Emmanuel Moyana. Dr. Emmanuel Moyana, good morning to you. You know, the main thing that we hear from those who are calling for, the 2030 agenda is that the president has excelled when it comes to infrastructure projects. Dr. Moyana, I was in Malawi. I was so surprised about the quality of infrastructure under Lazarus Chakwera. The simplicity of his interchanges. He has put interchanges in Mangochi, interchanges in Zomba, interchanges in Lilongwe, interchanges in Blantyre, and those interchanges are simple and beautiful. They don't need 80 million. They cost, when I was asking, they cost around 7 million.
And constructed a new rail line as well.
Yes, a new rail line, beautiful roads happening in Malawi. And Malawi now has more interchanges than Zimbabwe, by the way. And maybe I'm going to show one there on the Jumbotron so people can just see what is happening just there in Malawi, the type of development. Ibrahim Traore, we have seen the development taking place in Burkina Faso. Zimbabwe is being left behind, but Dr. Moyana, we have been told that, the president has excelled in infrastructure, and as a result of that, his term of office needs to be extended. What is your take, considering that President Mnangagwa has been in office, in cabinet, since 1980? What advice would you give to your own president? What advice would you give to those who are doing that? And we all know, according to Isaac McCommittee, that they have no support from the people. These ones who are calling, for the president to continue to 2030. So, Dr. Moyana, what is your take on that?
Okay, good morning, generals. Thank you so much once again this morning for allowing me to say just a few words. Our biggest problem that we have right now in Zimbabwe is exposure. That's our biggest challenge, because we've been deprived of seeing what other countries are doing out there. For example, we've got our neighbor in Botswana, who have managed to develop beautiful infrastructure from scratch. And Botswana being a desert, but go to Botswana today, these interchanges we're talking about, it's like it's something that is very, unique in Zimbabwe. And people, they celebrate Wembut's roundabout. It's something that I don't really understand. Honestly, these things were supposed to have been done the time we took independence, because
Bishop Moyana
using all the resources and making sure that pocket is. And today, people, they are celebrating the establishment of Bedbridge Highway, Mutare Highway, Bulawayo Highway, as if it's something, Shamisira. These are the things that we should live with day in, day out. These are just normal things we should have as a nation. And, for people to say the president has done so much in trying to develop our infrastructure, for me, it's a mockery. It's actually an understatement to talk about that, because these things, it's ZANU-PF from 1980, it's ZANU-PF until today. There's nothing that has changed in Zimbabwe. Trust me, he has just come with a new way of stealing. Just taking over from his predecessor. And this is what has been happening from 1980. So, to say the least, it's a shame that the people of Zimbabwe, they still believe that Mnangagwa is doing so much. For me, he hasn't done anything. These guys have been there. That's all we did in this country. And those youths all those organizations, they're just being made to siphon the little that we have as a nation. I think if you remember, Simba, the last time I spoke about we have got 63 minerals in this country, are on demand worldwide. But surprisingly, we don't have anything in our treasury. There's compared to a country like Botswana, not got any diamond, but they've got over 10 billion in their reserves. Then you ask yourself, what is really happening in this country? Where is the money going? Where are the minerals going? Who is being responsible for all these things? And people are not able to do genuine analysis to say, what, President Takakubai Mukana, 2017, everyone walked through the streets, Mugabe must go, we need Mnangagwa to come in. And we did that as opposition because we thought, he was a different man. But alas, trust me, it was the worst mistake this country has ever made. So my submission was last time, what we need to do this time around, if what happens in 2017 happens again today, we're not going to ask for an extraordinary conference for ZANU-PF to give us a new leader. No, we'll definitely call for an overall election so that the will of the people may also be respected in this country. We cannot continue, to usher the same political party with the same people that we have had from 1980, because then we are not seeing any difference. This system has collapsed totally. And what we are saying is we need a new system. We need new people with a new vision. You know, if it's about projects that the president started in 2017 that he wants to stay beyond 2028, what we are saying is he must come up with a policy that is supposed to be approved in Parliament and in the Senate or in the government. Then they put that on, like what the Americans do. You know, remember when Obama came in, Papa in agenda Osama bin Laden. When he came in, the opposition. So what we are simply saying, if there are policies that governs the country, whether you have started a good project, the next person who is coming will accomplish that project. Let's not use the project as a way of saying, no, he has started a good job. Yes, but if time is up, it's up. What about if God takes him today? What are they going to do? Are they going to raise him from the grave and say, no, this is shit politics, shit propaganda. What you are saying is the country needs to move forward. We appreciate what they have done. We are not here to say, you know what, they've done nothing. Whatever they did. But we are saying we can do much better than that. So they should allow the people of Zimbabwe to make their own choices. They should allow the country to move forward for the sake of the generations to come. You know, for the past 45 years, we're supposed to be a country, may become second world class right now as a nation. But looking at the talk 40, 50, third world is a testimony of Zimbabwe because of the way this country is being run. So at the end of the day, we are having people who are selfish, people who are self-centered, who always think about themselves, what they need to benefit, what they need to get. They don't care about the people that they are leading. Because honestly, a youth will go out there, rise against their own parents, just because they are supporting an individual over 16 million people who needs to survive. It's not proper. So let us all understand that Zimbabwe is being run by people who are very selfish, people who doesn't care anymore, people who thrive on intimidation, thrive on killing, thrive on arresting people, innocent people, and throwing them inside jails. Look what is happening. But they are walking on the streets. You know, we have a leadership crisis in this country. And I pray that this time around, with the whole veterans being involved, you know, you talked about the distribution of 150,000 that has been sent to Mashis, if I heard clearly, and the other province. And they are going to be given as loans, not as free fees. So at the end of the day, it's about $46 you know, $46 in Zimbabwe. So you see, we're not doing anything. We are wasting our time. All we are simply saying is 2028 comes, the president must, you know, step down and allow other people to take over the country moving forward for the sake of the people of Zimbabwe. We appreciate what he has done, but when the time is up, let him respect the constitution. He is the one who made that constitution together with other legal experts. So what we are saying is 2020 will give him the statesman respect in this country. We appreciate what we said, not only him, we will respect them. So what we are saying is 2020 whether it's ZANU-PF, whether it's any political, whether it's anyone, you know, what we're saying is let's allow change, let's allow people to choose the leader of their own choices so that the country can move forward. That's my submission for now. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Mayana. Let me just go to Brother Signoro. Brother Signoro, welcome to the space. And of course, we're still waiting for that connection. For those who are just joining us, we're still waiting for that connection.
By the way, it's been confirmed, Hulu. I've put it in the ashtray here. That there is a challenge with network in Harare, which is sad. I'm hoping that it can be solved soon.
Yeah, so we'll wait a bit and see how it works. It will be very good if we can be able to have that connection going through. To war veteran Clive Malunga. For those who are just joining us again, it has just gone past the 58:08. Okay, let me just say 2 minutes to 9 a.m. in Harare, and the same at 2 minutes to 9 in the city of Bulawayo. And thank you for joining Zimai and following Zimai. Thank you for joining me also, Hulu at the Chiso Live. And this, of course, is about our people, our country. And this is yet another day and another hour. We have an opportunity to talk about our country. Brother Senior, welcome to the space. People are talking about young people and saying, here we are waiting for a war veteran. But where are the young people? And Clive Malunga also spoke about it in some of those audios that we have. But where do you think the young people fit in when it comes to a revolution in Zimbabwe? Brother Senior, go ahead. Brother Senior, can you unmute yourself so you can speak? Okay, we cannot hear Brother Senior. Let me see if Charles is available. Charles, are you able to speak?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Hulu. Hope you're well. Mr. Simba and the fellow Zimbabweans, I greet you all. I just wanted to echo what Dr. Moyana is saying, which is very, very important. Our country has been deprived of exposure. You know, you'd be surprised that there's so many people in Zimbabwe who don't even know what South Africa looks like, Botswana looks like. So there's this system that the dictators use is to make sure, one, they keep their people poor, two, they make sure their people don't even know what's happening in the outside world. I'll give you a good example. There's a video that I was just watching and I shook my head. I'm like, what's wrong with us? You know, we've got this prophet, Magaya, who was exposed to have bought PhD degrees and his fake operations. So there's a video of him walking into a stadium that apparently I hear he built, and the support that he received from people who are our fellow Zimbabweans, it shook my head. I'm like, what is wrong with us? Can't these people see that they're being taken for a ride? They'll pay this guy money and go home to an empty stomach. So that is the system that was created by dictators, because they know very well that once they leave power, they are going to jail. Because right now what they are doing is, especially Mnangagwa, what he's doing is trying and working hard to suppress the arm of the law. The arm of the law is being choked in our country, because once these guys leave and all the evils and the crimes that they've committed, the arm of the law will do what it's supposed to do. So it's for him to stay in power so that nothing happens. So that's the biggest elephant in the room. And also when you look at, they create a sub-conducive environment. So our youth cannot do anything besides being dangled some little hundreds of dollars. They've created all that stuff. It's a system that needs to be destroyed. Once again, Dr. Miyama said this another point, that if the war veterans decide to make a move on this one, I would rather have a situation whereby the country comes to a halt and we remove the overhaul, the whole system. We can't wait for 2028 because people are dying. People are continuously dying because of pure medication. You know, what happens with death? Death has to be orchestrated by the Creator who created us. But when it's orchestrated by an individual because of things that they're supposed to do and they're not doing, that's murder. And people are going through that. You know, and we can't be happy by saying they've done this, they've done this. The government is supposed to do what it's supposed to do when it comes into power, into governance. You know, we've also got a misunderstanding of good governance and coming into power. This power thing is overrated. People need to govern properly according to their mandates. And another thing that we are living that is slowly sliding and doing whatever it wants, all the MPs in our country now need to be brought to their account. They need to be accountable and asked, what have they done in their constituencies since they came into power? Despite always receiving benefits, receiving monies, what are they doing? What are they doing for the people? You know, they just sat there doing nothing, and they sold us because now, because of vote, because we know that for laws to be passed in the parliament, they need to vote, and they've sold out. You know, and they're still living a happy life in our country. It doesn't make sense. They need to, each and every province needs to put their MPs to account today and now and say, guys, what are you doing? What have you done? You know, and they need to expose these people. You know, we need to expose these people because imagine if your skeletons in your closet are put in the open and the people know exactly what you're doing, because unfortunately you offered to serve the public. So you're a public entity. So people need to know exactly what you're doing. You know, so at the end of the day, these guys are just, you know, It's really sickening. It's heartbreaking when you think about it. Come on, our country's bleeding, man. This has to come to a stop. It has to come to a stop. That's my submission. Thanks, eh?
Right, thank you very much, Charles. And Zimai has posted, some of these. Has posted about many of the recordings from, Comrade Malunga. For those who might want to follow through on that, but we're still waiting and hoping, that. By the grace of God, we'll be able to connect to him. And the challenges with network in Harare, Harare is clogged up. Sometimes network becomes a challenge. If you are in Harare, it needs some of us who are outside of Harare. Sometimes it becomes much, much easier. But anyway, we hope that we can still be able to get hold of him, Zimai, even if it is possible to get hold of him on the phone, that we can be able to put him up here. That we can be.
You know what? I'm trying my best. So far up to now, Hulu, it's been difficult. What I would like to do, Hulu, and I want to propose, we could spend the next 20 minutes waiting on him, and should he fail to come in, when he eventually connects, we'll just go immediately. So even if he comes at 10 or 12, do you get what I mean? So let's just roll through, because we are at the mercy of our connections at present. Yeah.
Yes, I get it. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we are going to do throughout the day, you can check with us. It can become easier when you follow us. That as soon as Clive Malunga is connected properly, we will then start. So what we're going to do is we will run down, and then from there, we will wait for the connection to happen. If you're following us, it will be easier for you to see that Clive Malunga is now speaking to Zimbabwe, and the connection will indeed happen. So for those who are just joining us, we are still hoping that we can get the connection right to war veteran Malunga, so he can be able to speak to the people. But before that, we have a few other speakers here that are just going to share their thoughts on the reality of life in Zimbabwe. And we are asking the question, if the war veterans still make sense in 2025, where are the young people? Why is it that everybody has now been beaten down so badly that nobody seems to have power to speak, even the opposition? Even those in the opposition, they are also unable to speak. Brother Senior, I see your hand has gone up. I called your name earlier. Let me see if you are able to speak now. Brother Senior, are you able to speak now? Is your connection right?
1, 2, testing, sound check. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
My sincere apology that delay. I got distracted. The question, if I get it right, is I think it's the trending question, which I think we need to address. That we are waiting for veterans. Where is the youth? Is that correct?
That is correct. Thank you.
Yeah, allow me to address this fully. I have so much respect for veterans.
Right. The network for Brother Senior is playing games. Oh, there we go. All right. Now you can.
I would like to jot down. I was saying I've worked with a lot of a number of war veterans, and allow me to correct that the war veterans is an institution, and the founder is not Chinjerai Hunzi. Why I'm saying this, there's a lot that we need to appreciate when they come, so that we understand the formation and the idea behind. And I want you, if you can, put this name down. Alfred Mutasa. Probably Akurata Shamska, how did you know about this person? Because he's one of the people who rejected Vakanzvatenge in 1980. He left for England. But what I'm saying is there are so many names of war veterans that have not been vocal, so that we understand that the issue that we're talking about here is serious. Some of them I've met personally, they rejected, they refused to even get the war veterans cards. So some of the information that I think maybe you might want to cross-check and wanting to know why. Now, on the youth, I want to be very clear, and again, it is a case to look down upon anyone who sacrifices his life, their life to liberate a nation. These are some of the secrets of life which we might want to share. So it will make you humble, not talk too much when you don't know nothing. There's a lot of talk, assaults, insults and assaults. It didn't go down well with me yesterday when I hear an old man cry. I don't know what we are going to do about that. Maybe when you heard me saying something has to be done. We are not talking of an ordinary Munumkura, but we are talking of somebody who, through a calling, did what they did. And when you interface with them, they will tell you, we didn't know what we are doing. It's a calling. So when you hear that, it's more like crying, what wrong have I done? So, to me, I don't know about you guys, it's deep and it's regrettable. Now, I want to clear this and I'll be corrected. In Indian Zero, I'm a traditionalist, and it's good to Rageza. The ideology, I think we need to be very clear from the very onset. This is mostly coming from people who let go of, who are shameless, disrespectful. Only the question of why, which relates to young people, not why they are not doing anything. We don't want to pretend that we are dealing with a machinery here. It's a well-orchestrated crime syndicate. It's beyond just what you see is ZANU-PF. This animal, it's dangerous. But to be warned is to be armed. I'm not saying dangerous to put fear, to instill fear in anybody. So the reason is very simple. These are people who sacrifice their lives. Who said, they are dead already. My veterans, and I am saying it positively from Comrade Chachavuga, but if you hear that negatively, you will think otherwise. What it means is they are determined, but there is a problem now of failure to look after them, integrate them properly, putting them in a corner. We have to take the responsibility. They put in a lobby, starved, no counseling, nothing, no proper rehabilitation, and everything was hijacked. And most importantly, they had a plan on how to rule the country going forward. All those things were not done because Banamafiki Zolo and the criminals who claim they fought to liberate Zimbabwe, they don't know, they didn't know their issues, their arrangements before the end of the war, that they were told, you must come back, and I think, you need to find out what is it that was supposed to be done. This is important so that we understand some of the problems that we are going through. They can tell you, it's easy. but I'm not qualified. But I've been itching all these years to say, I wish there could be a moment where we could hear from them. But what I've always said, I will not bring them on board if we are not ready to listen, because as kunaka kutukisa vanhu vakuru. It's a pity vakachema nezuro zvichawana nzira yekugadzirwa nazo. When we are ready to understand where the country is coming from, when we are ready to understand where our problems are coming from, when we are ready for the roadmap to say how do we then move on like any other.
Before they disappear. It's critically important. That's very critical. So, Vechidiki, here's the thing. You need to organize yourselves. I'm challenging you today to do a presser. Remove your political jackets. Do a presser. There's nothing wrong in copying exactly what they said. What our grievances are. What they've done is to say our grievances. They say those grievances on behalf of us. So what is lacking is a presser. Right? It is critically important. And I think that will solve the problem, or rather the questions surrounding why Vechidiki Musipo. But we need a blueprint. In my view, we need a blueprint. We need a proposal. We need a transition authority.
Okay.
And we need to ask them, how do we get to that point? Because let's not just dream of pushing Amnanga out of State House and getting somebody. And the somebody that I would like to see, the Zimbabwe that I want to see, is a president who is 25 years, 26, 30, 35, up to 40, backed by an advisor team of advisors, people who are old, over 40, in their respective areas, to advise the country forward. But if we do not have that, we are wasting time. But if we have a position to say, Kanachachaya, I've always been loud to say, from any angle. Here we are. Let me land and say, there's a misconception. We're veterans. There are people in Inewe, so they never left us. I know what I'm talking about. There's beef between all veterans and ZANU-PF. But only a few have been given a carrot. Only a few have been hijacked. So it's not right to put a blanket or to think that ZANU-PF owns war veterans. I use my mind.
Thank you. Matt, are you there? Matt, are you able to speak? Matt Muno? Okay, two boy. Before I go back to Comrade Connie, and then, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as the connection happens, with war veteran Clive Malunga, the space will run. So you can keep checking on us. The space will run as soon as the connection happens. So at this particular moment, we just winding down, and then from there we will pick up the space as soon as the connection.
Yes, thank you very much. First up, I would like to thank everyone and the whole thing that's going on and the way you have organized everything. Thanks very much. Secondly, we need to go back to where we started. When we started the war, I was not even born. Independence, I was 14. I ran around Ndirukumusha, Wachogota. And we haven't seen those results, right? Not until we recognize who we are as a person, as a people. Not until we recognize that this country, Yatinayo, yes, the Europa, we won it through blood and sweat. Look at the Japanese, look at the Syrians, look at the British, look at we can never go anywhere until there's a revolution in Zimbabwe. Yes, there was Chimurenga 1, Chimurenga 2. How do we move from there? And then there was this land redistribution and all that. That was all rubbish anyway. We cannot move on. What these people have actually managed to do is give us a carrot. And that carrot was in the form of education. When education in Zimbabwe, they're my book. I see education, I'm not streetwise. All I know is creating a book and claim a book and say, okay, this is it. However, having said that, we have so many smart people that are in the world organizations, in America, World Health, people in the British Parliament, people in Australia, everywhere around the world that are very, very smart. We haven't been able to harness that education, those resources, and use them.
Sorry, Matt Mono.
Ourselves.
Sorry, Matt Mono. Matt Mono, if I could interrupt a little bit. We have a video caller, a contributor, Hulu, and if I'm getting this right, this is a ZANU-PF chairperson, Gifford. Is Gifford? Comrade Gifford.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You're on video, right?
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. So so Hulu, we have Comrade Gifford Gomo. He has a letter that he has submitted today to the Presidium, and I was hoping he could share the letter with us because it is in sync with the theme right now. Could I interrupt and then we could just give him just 2 minutes, please? Yeah.
Yes, please. Matt, sorry about that.
Absolutely.
Comrade Gifford. Is it Comrade Gifford Gomo?
That's right. Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think your volume is really low. I don't know how I can increase your volume. Yeah, Shakura Peter, but just try. How do I increase your volume? I really need your volume to be up.
Put it on speaker.
He is on speaker. Okay, right. Comrade Gomet, can you speak, please? Okay. Is it me alone? You're really low. You are really, really low. It's worrying me.
You can hardly hear me.
I think it's you, Simba, because we heard his voice earlier.
Okay, let me just increase. Continue, please.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much, Simba. Today, the 7th of February, I wrote a letter to the Presidium seeking clarity on the number 1, which was passed by, which was reported to be passed by Congress. You know, the number 1 resolution was about sending.
An app that's playing on your phone or something, because we can hear you, but your volume is so low.
He's getting better. He's getting better. We can hear a little bit better now.
Okay.
Okay. How are you projecting it to us, Simba? Okay.
From the computer. Just continue speaking. I'm trying to increase. Yeah, continue, please.
No, that's fine. So I was saying I wrote a letter to the Presidium, seeking clarity on the resolution number.
Microphone. Check his mic.
Yeah, microphone it is so low. Maybe it I exit mode Zoka. It I exit mode, restart and come back. Restart your phone and come back. Yeah, because we can hear, and I feel that we don't want to miss. We don't want to miss what he's saying.
Ask him if he's on earphones. Maybe he's on earphones.
Okay, but I think if he restarts, because he's joining on video, so he's on our video streamer, and I guess the settings there are a little bit different. So I think if he restarts, then there's a letter.
The chances are he's on earphones. Maybe
right, yeah. So he has a letter that he has submitted to the Presidium, which I felt is so important that he comes in and he shares it with the people right now, because it is in sync with everything that that we are talking about, and also that Comrade Malunga is speaking about, and the fact that he has submitted it today, it's so fresh.
Yeah, you might also need, if it was possible, to transfer his voice to a Bluetooth speaker,
right?
Then you can then be able to increase the volume, because without that, I don't think his volume is going to increase. So you would need to transfer his audio to a Bluetooth speaker, and then that then can help to elevate his voice.
His voice. Right. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just trying to bring him back up. My apologies, folks.
Simba?
Yes. I'm just trying to bring him back up so that once he comes back on video, I asked him to restart his device. Yeah, because I'm.
As soon as you are ready.
Absolutely. Thank you. Let's shoot it, please. Let's shoot it.
Okay. So Matt, sorry for stopping you there. Please go ahead. We'll get interrupted as we go. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay, thanks, Comrade Hulu. I will continue. So what the education system in Zimbabwe has done is that it has individualized us. We do not work as a unit. We work differently. As long as kumba kwangu vachiguta, so what's the problem? We cannot move ahead in that mentality. That's one thing. And also there's a previous speaker was talking about the youth. The youth cannot do anything until and when they have proper leadership. There's no leadership, youth leadership in Zimbabwe. That leadership, you need hand down from us, my elders. We haven't been able to do that. Be it opposition, be it those that are in power, that youth leadership, you need to hand over. Even in a family, Baba, Vanessa, Mwana, Anupiwa, Kunzi, Ntuwa, Baba, Wepanopamba. We haven't been, you see all these Prophet Nagayas, all these other people, they are robbing people daylight. And what we say to Vio, where does he get his money? The other speaker was talking about him. Gold mafia was never investigated. Where do they get that money from? My Chinese, they are coming in. They are raping our sisters. There was an incident in Nyazura where one Chinese actually beat up a pregnant woman. And then the mob attacked him. The next hour he was out. This pregnant woman had a miscarriage. Who are we as a person? Who are we as a people? Who are we as Zimbabweans? Not until we go back to the roots of why Mbuyane and Kaguli fought first, we can never go ahead. And not until we recognize those men in uniform, those men that died, Zinyadzonya, Anyadzona Pakafiwa, and the other ones in Zambia, Pakafiwa. Not until we can never move ahead. We can never move.
Right, Matt's network has just fallen there. Let me go to Two Boy, and then I go back to Comrade Connie, and we'll be checking up with the host after that. Two Boy, welcome to the space. Please go ahead. Two Boy. Are you able to speak, Two Boy? All right. So, Comrade Connie, what is your assessment so far? Two Boy is struggling to speak there, but his mic seems to be stable. I don't know what is your assessment? What do you think needs to be done? We have been told that, young people, they are not speaking out because they are so scared of what happened in 2008, so scared of what happened in 2017, 2018. And
microphone.
Yeah, kunzwika manje.
Yeah, kunzwika manje.
Good. Because andandishiya kuti kochiko nayi. Yes, I was really struggling with the because this streamer, this streamer is usually very good. Yeah, sorry, Comrade Gifford is now here, so I think his microphone is now super perfect.
Yes.
All right. Okay, good. Sorry about Comrade Connie. So, Zimai, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Just a brief introduction. Right, our viewers and listeners join us live right now on Twitter Spaces and also on our video platforms. We've got over 1,100 or so, 1,200 really total people listening at present. Let us know where you're logging in from. We are briefly being joined by a Mash West chairperson, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. He's going to introduce himself, his exact title, but he's definitely from Mash West, from Justice Ziambi's province. I'll call it Justice Ziambi's notorious province. Right. Okay, so he's going to come in and make a presentation of what is going on over there and what he has done today. Comrade Gomwe, please introduce yourself by your title as well, and if you can even show us V11 so that people know that we have not smuggled you from the bush somewhere.
No, that's fine. Thank you very much, Simba. Gifford Gomwe is my name, and I'm a secretary for local government at district level, Mashonaland West, under Zimba admin. Yes, today, the 7th of February, I wrote a letter to the Presidium seeking clarification on the resolution number 1. The resolution number 1 seeks to amend the constitution so much that our president, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, be considered for 2-year extension. Right, but based on the information that was presented by Comrade Chinamasa at the conference last year in October, ZANU-PF conference last year, he said to the audience or to the people of ZANU-PF that resolution number 1 cannot be implemented simply because express authority who is
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now, sir. Please go ahead.
can
Oh, no, that's
remind
fine.
him where he said the resolution number 1 cannot be implemented.
Yes, yeah. Please, can you repeat where you talked about resolution number 1 cannot be implemented?
Okay. On the conference last year in October, ZANU-PF conference, Comrade Chinamasa, our Secretary for Legal Affairs in the Politburo, highlighted to the audience who were delegates at ZANU-PF conference that the resolution number 1 to extend Comrade Mnangagwa's extension of office cannot be implemented. Why? Because it required an express authority of Comrade Mnangagwa. So in this instance, Comrade Mnangagwa is on record, or was on record several or many times, denying to assent to that agenda. So it boggles the mind now that we have senior leadership, in particular Comrade Ziambi, who is happened to be the Justice Minister, who wants to amend the Constitution with regards to the presidential extension by 2 years. So we are shocked to hear that, firstly, the resolution to extend the term of office of the President Mnangagwa did not come from the grassroots. We were never consulted as party cadres. It's just, it was an instruction which was said to be coming from senior leadership, in particular the President. That's what we were informed. So we are denying the fact that the grassroots actually wants President Mnangagwa to extend the term limit. We respect what Comrade Mnangagwa had said, that he is a constitutionalist and he is a legalist, to the fact that he actually said he is not going to go beyond 2028. So we respect his decision. So we're actually surprised to see Comrade Mnangagwa as Comrade Ziambi, in trying to amend the constitution so that it benefits Comrade Mnangagwa's tenure, because it did not was not approved by himself. So the clarity that we want to seek from the Presidium is, did the President Mnangagwa give a green light to the party that he now wants to go beyond the 2028? Because the recordings that we have is Comrade Mnangagwa refused to go beyond the 2028.
Right.
Hello, Simba.
Yes. So I think I've heard you so, and I've also been typing. I could not be speaking while I'm typing. I was typing while you were speaking. I was just putting all the notes as I could there. Right. So you've submitted this today. Tell me about what do you think you're going to make it? Seeing that we already have footage, Comrade Gomwe. We already have footage of Mnangagwa being there, where the pronouncements were made to extend his term to 2030. We even have himself, Mnangagwa vachitaura pa video, speaking it, saying it on video. 2030 Ndenge Ndiripo. He is the author of that term, Ndenge Ndiripo, and also the one who presided over stages where the pronouncement was made that it's not just being there as in being alive in 2030. It is actually Kutotonga, it is ruling. So I'm wondering, are you not going around in circles instead of just shooting straight and asking Mnangagwa Kutiko, please explain your video that he has been repeating since 2019? That you'll be ruling in 2030, and then also number 2, we also have the same Justice Ziambi making statements. By the way, he's not just a secretary in ZANU-PF or a representative of ZANU-PF. He's also Justice Minister. So he's a double player. He has authority to change the laws, okay? to push for the changing of the laws. And so he is someone who is on video saying that he is going to pretend like the president does not know about it. And then just say, in Anzi Ndichavaudza, I will just tell him that you don't know about it. This is just our conversation from the rural areas, Yekumamisha. And yet, this is something that was even launched or relaunched at his own Prikabe farm by Webster Shamu and Sengezo Chabango. So my point is, don't you think you are probably being too polite? You have not hit it. But I understand. I'm being careful there. Yeah. Question.
Okay, very much. Thank you, Simba. The reason why I had written my letter to the Presidium, President Mnangagwa is also part of the team of Presidium, because in Presidium we've got the President, the two Vice Presidents, the Chairman, and the Secretary for Administration, who happens to be Comrade Mpov. You see, so I didn't want to singularly get clarity from one person, but I'm trying to seek clarification from the party's Presidium, because these are the ones who gives direction to the party. On the issue that the president said 2030, we just assumed that that statement, when he said that statement 2030, we just assumed that you will be alive by 2030 to see the vision 2030 being driven forward by whoever the president that would take the reins of position number one. You see, but he has got several video clips that are on social media. One, he was interviewed, I think sometimes he was in China, in America, where he said, even if the people want me to go beyond 2028, I will not assent to that. You see, so that's the reason why we are saying we respect what the president had said, and as party cadres, we follow what the first secretary says, and also we also follow we follow and abide by the rules and regulations of our party constitution as well as the constitution of the land.
Right. Okay.
Is it possible that our speakers can be able to throw questions at Comrade Gomwe, and Comrade Gomwe hear us, or can only hear you?
No, he can hear. Comrade Gomwe murikuvanzwa nditika varipa spaces. You can hear them.
But very a bit faint.
Very too faint.
Yes.
All right. So,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
We just want to set up ability to hear. Zimai, sorry, Senor, just a moment, please, before we engage him from the speakers. We want to find out if he can hear. Comrade Gomwe, are you able to hear the people?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear them.
All right. So, Senor, you can go ahead, and then we go to Comrade Connie.
Comrade Gomwe, Indian the Senor, very fast. I've never been a member of ZANU-PF, but I understand to some extent the protocol in ZANU-PF. I'm a traditionalist. I've had a meeting with a political member.
Yes.
May her soul rest in peace. Amai Matutu. I'm putting the picture so I understand how I know. Point I'm making, I understand the protocol. I want to find out. No one is supposed to give out, share internal information. In this particular case, this is very sensitive information. Again, the follow-up question on that, my understanding is an extraordinary meeting, Central Committee extraordinary meeting, it relates to issues that are very sensitive, critical rather. The protocol would be that at your level, and I beg to be corrected, you are expected to submit to the province, and then province will submit only if there is announcement that is going to be a meeting. But I don't know, the provinces and the district, they don't feed the central committee on what to discuss. It's automatic. If there's something urgent, an extraordinary meeting is called. So I want to find out. I really appreciate what you have done. The protocol has changed on yourselves because of the current developments, not to follow the protocol, and also.
If you could make it short and sharp, comrade, so that sorry, senor, so that he quickly picks your question, please.
You're making it long yourself. The last question being, are other districts at your level doing likewise? Many thanks.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade Signoro, for your question. First and foremost, Comrade Signoro, I'm speaking on my behalf as a Comrade Gomwe. I'm not speaking on behalf of the party ZANU-PF. Number one. Number two, the resolution number one is not something which is secret. It's something which is well known. It was published when it was conducted at in Blawayo conference. You see, the results were published. Everyone knows what the president it said. So we are simply repeating what the president said versus what other comrades are doing. So I don't think that by discussing that we need protocol to discuss things are wash in public. I don't know if I've made myself clear, Comrade Signoro.
Yeah, thank you, Comrade Gomez. Let's move to the next speaker. That is Leonard Kone. Comrade Kone, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Hulu. Just straight to Comrade Gomez. Thank you so much. My question is, what is the probability of your letter reaching its intended target, and what is the time frame of the response, and what time are you going to expect the response? Secondly, why is Emerson Mnangagwa dilly-dallying and feigning an injury to address this 2030 agenda? Why is he allowing his running dogs to keep on propagating this 2030 narrative, including Ziyambi? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, comrade. I believe in ZANU-PF, we have listening leaders. So I believe the presidium that I wrote my letter to, they are also listening leaders. I'm sure within 7 days, I should be getting a response. The last question that you raised about why President Mnangagwa is not is dilly-dallying about the 2030 agenda, why is he not coming out clear is to say that possibly is now in agreement with the Justice Minister to amend Constitution. I've also the same question. That's the reason why also I had to write the letter to the Presidium, so that we get clarity to know whether the President is actually assented to accepting that he now wants to go beyond 2028, so that people know, the majority know. So, but the question now that we have as Zimbabweans, not only ZANU-PF, because amendment of constitutions is solely for Zimbabweans. It's not a partisan issue, but it's for Zimbabweans. So the reason why we are so interested in it is because we are looking at the cost involved. There's a huge cost there in trying to amend the constitution. So when we compare the cost involved in trying to amend the constitution versus the issues that are affecting people, you see in the hospitals, is pathetic, to say it the least. The situations in hospital in Zimbabwe is not looking good. So we can't then prioritize to channel a huge chunk of money for a referendum just to benefit Comrade Mnangagwa only at the expense of Zimbabweans. So hence the reason why I even wrote to the president and asking them to actually conduct a survey and see what the people are saying on the grassroots. What are they saying pertaining to the resolution number 1?
Yeah, but Comrade Gomwe, just there before I go to Venancio, who is the other speaker that is going to engage with you. Many people are saying that those who are calling for the 2030 agenda have got no support, and this is their own way of surviving. Their own way of continuing to eat. So this has nothing to do with carrying out a survey among people to find out. They don't want to hear that. All they want is to continue to eat. So how are you going to succeed in your letter to the Presidium if the intention by those who are supporting the 2030 agenda is to stay in office, is to eat and to benefit continuously? So how do you respond to
that? The president, Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa, and together with his deputies, the leadership, they believe that the will of the people should prevail. Even President Mnangagwa is on record to say that he respects the will of people. What the will of the people is the voice of God. So I would like to believe that in several times, Comrade Mnangagwa had said on social media that he is not going to go beyond 2028 simply because he is a legalist as well as a constitutional. And he also said that he was part and parcel of the people who wrote that constitution, and he doesn't want to violate that constitution. So by refusing to go beyond 2028, it means he respects what people said on the 2013 referendum when they said they want the president to go for 2 terms, whether continuously or not. So by virtue of that the people of Zimbabwe in 2013 voted for that constitution which says the president should go for 2 terms, it means that he is respecting the will of people, unless he has changed. So that's the reason why we want the Presidium to come out clear and open to the general people, in particular the ZANU-PF, where there are divisions inside. When people decided to go behind the president's stance of being a constitutionalist, people are being castigated and called sellouts. So this is the reason why I had to write that letter, so that I get a response from the Presidium, because I believe our leadership are a listener, they are listening leadership.
All right. We continue with the speakers to engage with you. Comrade Gomwe, Venancio is the one speaking right now to you. Venancio, please go ahead.
I just want to confirm, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, speak to Comrade Gomwe.
Yes, I can hear him.
Okay, Comrade, it's easy here. I just have questions surrounding what you guys call your ZANU-PF constitution. When I look at Article 5 of your same constitution that speaks particularly on your, National People's Congress and the National People's Conference, you tend to see that the National People's Conference that happened in Bulawayo does not have any power, in fact, to declare a 2028 president, which is what they did to say that it is Mnangagwa. But I watched a YouTube video that says that even if they were to say that Mnangagwa was declared to be a president, he actually rejected the resolution. But here's a bigger question. When he rejected the resolution, everyone should have abided by it and just kept quiet and let it to rest. But Ziambi and people still continue to carry on with the resolution. Now, the resolution that is the fake resolution that is and also lacking legality as per your own standard is somehow causing a rift in ZANU-PF. Actually, people fighting with each other, people throwing words at each other. What it automatically means is that is the time where the president, as the first secretary of ZANU-PF, is supposed to call upon unity by basically dismissing the resolution and saying that I remain until 2030. But what we I'm not sure if I'm repeating what has been said here before, but what we see is that the cricket farm, what we see is that even ministers are now coming out. We see this guy that acts like a woman. I'm not saying that he's like a woman, but he bends to other men. Like he just, what is this? The other one with glasses, the Minister of Information, not Nick Mangwana. Then there's this Ziambi. When you see
the minister you are referring to, Jensen Muswere? Is it him?
Okay. But come on.
I'm referring to that minister.
I forgot his name. That is he's somewhere around information.
Jensen Muswere, that's his name.
Okay, Muswere. When we stand to see what he's talking about, he is actually attacking other people, attacking the Gazers. And why is this fight allowed to take place when the first secretary can just go and stand in front of the podium and just tell them that, hey, I'm not going to 2030, the resolution will never be accepted, and I will never accept it. He has to put it to rest and actually say that there will be disciplinary hearing for anyone that will keep on singing the ED 2030. ED likes the ED 2030 and is not fooling anyone. And there is no point in writing letters to him or even asking for more clarity. He is saying that so that he can protect himself, basically by saying that on record, I've never said that. But behind the scenes is busy pushing these young boys to come and be Arakashi here and just push for the 2030. He's just doing that for on record, of which I would call him smart in this case.
Vanessa, we cannot hear you anymore. Vanessa, is it possible to make your question short to him so he can respond? Zimai, can you still hear Vanessa?
No. Venancio is gone off, I think.
Okay. So, but I guess Comrade Gongwe has heard, the gist of what Venancio is saying. Comrade Gongwe, did you pick up what he's saying?
Yes, thank you very much. It's correct that the conference has got no mandate to endorse a presidential candidate. It's only the Congress which has got the powers to endorse or to discuss the issues pertaining to the president, the next president, of which our next Congress is supposed to be in 2027. You see, so like what Comrade Vanessa was saying, that why is it President Mnangagwa is so quiet when there are problems and PF, there's a rift, people are being castigated, that's exactly the reason why we want him to respond. We want the part to respond so that the people of Zimbabwe, as well as the ZANU-PF people, knows exactly what they should follow. You see, so we can't then have a situation whereby the president is saying this, and to some extent, Party Kadas, the Justice Minister Ziambi, is saying he wants to amend the constitution. Where is he getting that power from? Because the people had said that the president said he doesn't want to go beyond 2028. So this is the reason enough for that resolution not to be discussed and talked about way after the conference. So we're actually shocked that the resolution, the agenda is still ongoing, while the president at conference didn't want to assent to it. In actual fact, the position of resolution number 1 was not upholded by the conference, you see. So we want the clarity from the presidium to give us direction, to give us the true position of what the president really wants. We want the chairperson of ZANU-PF to give direction to the party, whether we should follow the 2030 agenda or we should just abolish it. But as far as I know, the people on the grassroots, they don't want to hear about the 2030 agenda. The grassroots, they really embrace and they really want the vision 2030, but we don't want the president to go beyond in 2028. We just believe in continuity. That's what we all want.
Right, and Comrade Gongwe, if you get ignored, I mean, because what you are saying is what we tend to hear throughout the country, that you see both in the opposition and in ZANU-PF, nobody is interested in 2030. But then now, who are now buying people, and they have no support whatsoever from the people. What they have is money. So they are buying people in order to push this 2030 agenda. Do you think that this group that is using money is big enough or strong enough to succeed, especially considering the opposition that is clearly there throughout the country, that people don't want this 2030 agenda? Do you think the group with money is going to win this one? What is your take on that, Comrade Gongwe?
Of course, I've heard that people are being given money to push the agenda, but what I can promise is that the group with money, they are just a small in numbers, just a limited number. They cannot supersede the people of Zimbabwe. So the people of Zimbabwe, they are speaking with one voice to an extent that they actually come out clear that we don't want the 2030 agenda. We don't want the president to go beyond 2028. So it's a situation whereby those people who are using money to certain individuals, they are just doing it knowing that it's a failed agenda. Already, this is a failed agenda.
Cuthbert, there is another speaker. Cuthbert has joined us. Let me see if he's able to speak. Cuthbert, Mr. Gongwe is on the line. What would you want to say to him? Please go ahead. Cuthbert, are you able to speak? No, he is not able to speak. His network is not so strong. So, Mr. Gongwe, I think it is very good that Zimbabweans can be able to hear from you. And in terms of the Zimbabwe state, and also, I mean, we saw what happened in 2017. I mean, with the replacement of President Mugabe with President Idi Mnangagwa. Do you see some similarities and differences right now in 2025? If so, what would you consider to be similarities? What would you consider to be differences today from 2017? Mr. Gongwe.
The situation that we are in now in Second Republic is far more than what it happened in 2017, you see. So the reason why we were sort of like giving an advice to the president is we want the president, Comrade Mnangagwa, to leave the legacy which we are all going to embrace. Look what happened to Comrade Mugabe. His legacy now is now a shame. No one is now really talking of Comrade Mugabe. But if you are to consider what the President Robert Mugabe has done for the people of Zimbabwe, not only Zimbabwe, but regionally and internationally, you see that he had contributed a lot of things which deserves him to be well recognized and respected. But because of issues which happened around 2017, his legacy is now in shambles. So hence the reason why we are trying to guard jealously to Comrade Mnangagwa was that we want his legacy, so that we want he be the first president in Zimbabwe that he has got the legacy that will be being talked to by people of Zimbabwe, even international or regionally, on a positive way.
Thank you. And fellow Zimbabweans, welcome to ZimEye, and welcome also thank you for joining ZimEye and joining me, Hulu at Petiso Live. 3 minutes past 10 a.m. in Harare, and also the same 3 minutes past 10 in the city of Bulawayo. And we continue to have this discussion with Comrade Gongwe. He's on the line, and ZimEye is working behind the scenes to try to connect Comrade Clive Malunga, war veteran Clive Malunga, so that he can be able to speak. And we'll continue to try that. His network has been very poor, but we'll continue to do that, and hopefully we'll be able to have Clive Malunga coming up to speak to you. Right, Comrade Gome, we have another speaker. This one is from Chirezi. It's called Taxi Driver. My homeboy. Taxi Driver is you are speaking to Comrade Gome. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Ulu. Mine is really a question. I don't comment about politics, but this one is an interesting one. So I just thought I'll ask a question. Is Mr. Gongwe, I hear him say the grassroots are saying this, that, and the other. Is he speaking on his... Is he speaking on behalf of the grassroots? Many thanks.
Comrade Gongwe?
Yes, I've heard what he said. Yeah, of course. The reason why I'm saying the people that I've talked and discussed about the issue, out of 10, for example, out of 10 people, 9 of them, if not 10, all of them, they are not happy with the 2030 agenda. So hence the reason why it gave me the reason why to say that the people of Zimbabwe doesn't want the 2030 agenda, because it has got no benefit to them. I've asked several leaders in ZANU-PF to say that what is the benefit of extending the term of office for President Mnangagwa to the people of Zimbabwe? So all of them failed to tackle that question to me, to say what is the benefit of extending the term of office for President Mnangagwa to the people of Zimbabwe. Does it mean that Zimbabwe is short of competent people, whereby we want Comrade Mnangagwa to be the only president for Zimbabwe? So the answers that I was getting from the people is Zimbabwe has got so many people who are educated, who can also take on Zimbabwe and move forward as to a better country.
Ulu, sorry to come back again, Ulu. I feel the speaker did not understand my question. I'll repeat my question. Is he speaking as an ordinary Zimbabwean with his feelings around a sample which I think is very small to generalize his view? Is he speaking on his behalf, on behalf of the party, or on behalf of the 10 people he spoke to, or on behalf of the leaders that he spoke to, or that he is referring to as leaders?
All right.
Is he speaking on behalf of? That's the question.
All right. Comrade Gongwe?
I'm speaking on my behalf as a Zimbabwean. I'm not representing anyone.
Thank you.
All right.
So that's all I wanted to ask.
Okay, thank you, Taxi. So we also joined by Marvin Keith. Marvin Keith, you are speaking to Comrade Gongwe. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I'm also, I'm going to ask a simple question also, but at the same time, I wanted to know, first of all, about maybe someone can shed light, even him, Comrade Gome can shed light. One thing that I wanted to ask is this. Isn't that in our constitution, we have got almost like a 3-layered process that was set so that our constitution cannot be tampered with in a manner that is about to happen in a way, or cannot be, shall I say, amended in a way that is easier. If I may understand, the issue of extending a term has to go to through a referendum. And then it's not only going to be one referendum to change just that. You have to go through 2 referendums. And if I'm not mistaken, our constitution stipulates that if a sitting president amends or extends the term limit, he himself is not supposed to benefit from the extension of the term limit. Meaning to say, if President Mnangagwa succeeds in extending the term limit, he is a sitting president. He does not have to benefit from from the extension. So the question that I'm putting across is the extension of the term meant for him, or is doing it for someone else? Maybe, probably, I would say his family or his children, because if he knows that the extension of the term as a sitting president is not supposed to benefit from it, who is he pushing the agenda for? That's one thing. Number two,
okay, but that question, I don't think you are directing it to Comrade Gomwe. You can direct it to all of us, because I don't think that is specifically for Comrade Gomwe, that kind of a question. I don't think that Comrade Gomwe, I don't think that you need to answer that, except if you want to, but I don't think that can be a question directed at you. So, Keith, continue.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, so let me just say the onus is on everyone who can then help me or answer. Number two is when we speak of visions, I don't know, maybe vision 2030, or is it just the matter of someone reaching 2030 and then you claim that you have achieved a vision, or what? Because a vision that can be bound to one man is not a vision enough. Because we would want a vision that is able to stretch generations. Not that you have to push a figure, a person, to a level that you want him to go as far as 2030 under the guise that we are pushing a vision. No, the vision is too small for a nation like Zimbabwe, and it ridicules the fact that Zimbabwe has got too many educated people who are capable of actually leading Zimbabwe. So are we saying also, because of that, their kind of myopic understanding of what a vision is, are we saying that ZANU-PF has plunged into a leadership crisis, whereby they just want to push the one that they have, whether maybe trying to organize themselves or what? Because there are reasons that they want him to go to 2030. The question is, what is it that they can do with an extra 2 years that they failed to do with the 12 years? He finished Mugabe's term, he got his 2 terms, now he wants to put an extra 2 years. So what is it that he is going to achieve in the extra 2 years that he failed to do in the 13
Comrade Gomwe is on the line. We don't want him to wait so long to answer and engage with the people. So if it is possible, you can just make it short, because he's on the line, by the way. So we would not want to finish all his data there. So are you able to make it short and sweet for him, if possible, friend?
And he can just respond for those that have just contributed. Thank you very much, Mr. Wood.
Okay, pleasure. Comrade Gomwe, do you want to answer to that?
Yes, thank you very much. Comrade, Vision 2030 is not for Comrade Mnangagwa, but Vision 2030, it's a vision for the nation. It's a Zimbabwe's vision, which is aligned to the vision of United Nations 2030. And also it's an alignment of vision, which is in line with African Union vision 2063, which is a 50-year vision. So it's wrong to say that the vision 2030 was crafted or is for Comrade Mnangagwa. No, the vision 2030 can be anyone, even if after Comrade Mnangagwa's term of office ends in 2028, any president who is going to come is going to move forward with that vision 2030, because it's a vision which is aligned with United Nations Sustainable Development Programs, as well as African Union vision of a 50-year vision, which ends in 2063.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Comrade Gomwe. And we also have Vakfa Fazira, welcome to the space. Are you able to speak? Are you there? All right, he's not there. So what we can do is we can try to bring in one more person there to engage with Comrade Gome. Let me see, Sanyamucha. Sanyamucha, welcome to the space. Are you able to speak? Okay. Vakfafaza seems to be able to speak now. Are you able to speak? Let's hear. Okay. Oh, he's not able to. Okay, yeah, then he comes up again. Hello? Speak to him. All right, so this one is Vakfafaza is speaking, and Comrade Gongme is listening through. Sanya Mutra, can you please, mute your mic so that the other there's no confusion. Sanya Mutra, you can mute your mic for now so that we can have we don't have to hear an echo from your angle. Okay, thank you. Vakfafaza, go ahead.
Since the president of ZANU-PF and Zimbabwe, Mr. Emerson Mnangagwa, not come with, said he's not going to take.
Are you having earphones? Are you having earphones, Vakfafaza? Because we want him to hear you. He's on the line, so if your voice is is not so clear, then he will not be able to hear you. If you have got earphones, can you remove them and then speak properly? Okay. Remove the earphones and then speak properly so that Comrade Gongwe can hear you. Please go ahead, Mr. Vakfafaza.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, now that's much better. Thank you for that. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I'm saying since the president, Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa, said he is a constitutionalist and he is not going to go beyond his two-term limits. Does ZANU-PF have any possible leader to take over from him? Do they have anyone whom they have anointed or anyone possible to them to lead? Then in case the 2030 agenda fails or the president says no to the 2030 agenda, is there anyone in place? Maybe Mr. Gongwe as an insider of ZANU-PF can tell us. Thank you.
All right, Comrade Gongwe, do you want to respond to that? Please go ahead.
Yes, of course. The process to decide who is going to take over the reins of a position number one, it is decided at the ZANU-PF Congress, which is coming in 2027. You see, but I would like to say we have capable and competent leaders in ZANU-PF who can take ZANU-PF forward as well as the country forward. And normally in ZANU-PF, normally in African politics, you'd find that the person being considered to be the second in charge or vice president, usually he or she will be in that position, being prepared, being groomed to take over the reins. So what will stop Comrade, for example, what will stop Comrade Chiwenga to lead the country after Comrade Mnangagwa's tenure ends in 2028? He is the vice president. He acts on the capacity of a president while the president is out of the country or while the president is on leave. And he has demonstrated good leadership qualities that he has in him that personally I embrace him to be the next leader of ZANU-PF. But however, the process to enact the president who is going to the next president, it goes through a Congress coming in 2027.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade Gongwe. Let me go to the next speaker, Sanya Mutua. You wanted to also, engage with Comrade Gongwe. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Hulu. Look, I've been listening for the past 30 minutes, and for the greater part of the time I was listening to him, I was, celebrating, thinking, this guy is presenting as somebody who is a bit of a moderate, who is with the people, who's not really buying into the 2030 agenda until he started justifying the 2030 agenda, linking it up with the UN and all that stuff, right? Mr. Gomwe, it's very simple here, right? It's either you are with the people or you are not. right? That response shows that you're somewhat happy with the situation where you are going to be probably feeding off some scraps from that extension, right? You are in a position to resign, send a strong message to the presidium, to the people in ZANU-PF, and lead by example and say, you guys, 2030 you are flogging a dead horse. Let's not go to I am resigning, I'm packing my bags. Are you happy to take that stance? Thank you.
Well, in every situation, as a person, you decide a way in which you can tackle certain situations. So some people believes in telling the president to resign immediately. In myself, I'm not taking that route, but in a way that is polite to say, consider what the people are saying. You see, so I'm with the majority. The majority are saying they don't want a president to go beyond 2028. So it's up to the decision of the president himself, Comrade Mnangagwa, to say that is he going to decide to go against the will of the people, or he actually wants to save his 2 terms and go. But I am behind what he said previously, that he is not going to go beyond 2028. We believe in continuity. We believe in that we've got to have the new president come 2028, which he going to bring new ideas, new skills, new development and everything, fresh ideas, fresh mindset. You see, that's all what we want as Zimbabweans. We want people to respect our constitution, the constitution that was crafted in 2013. We want it to be, we want it to be respected by everyone, be it the president, whoever, and above all, no one is above the law. And even if you look into our constitution, if you look at the duties of the president, one of the duties of the president is the president must uphold, defend, respect, obey the constitution and all other laws of Zimbabwe. So when the president said is the first person actually to defend the constitution, hence the reason why you have seen or noted that President Mnangagwa did not actually go against that rule as one of his duties, that he said is going to uphold the constitution, which is one of his duties as enshrined in the Zimbabwean constitution.
Right. Just a quick one. Okay. Yeah. My advice to you, my man, is, learn from history. The ship is sinking, and you are choosing to keep holding on to a sinking ship. You know there's so many people were from the previous regime who really were sunk with the ship. Jump off board, right? Resign, send the message clear that this is not the way to go. Right? Holding on to a sinking ship is not going to benefit you and your kids and your family. I don't know what your situation is. That's my advice to you.
All right. Thank you for the advice. But Comrade Gome, in view of what he has just said now, I want you to listen up to this from Comrade Chris Mutangwa. This was in 2017. This is what he had to say about the situation in 2017. And for our audience who have just joined us, thank you very much for joining. This is ZimI Space, and thank you for joining ZimI and joining me, Hulu, at Chiso Live, as we report news across our country, Zimbabwe. Right. So this is Comrade Chris Mutangwa speaking in 2017. And now we are in 2025. Please just listen up to this.
This is the wealth which your Zimbabwean people fought for to get it from the whites. Now it's being appropriated by even the association with the first family. One member of this first family is outrageously rich. So they are all knitted together. The blue which unites the G4 is avarice and bribing the world from a declining economy, from an economy which is grinding to a halt. They stick out like sore thumbs in an economy which is declining. Everybody is running away from this economy to the diaspora. So these are the people who have become that cabinet, and they condone each other in cabinet. Schwab was the ministry of labor, and he starts trying to look at Mufumira as the chief. Prince Jonathan, who was exempted,
Did I lose? I think we've lost. Oh, we've lost them. Oh my God. We've lost them on the space. I apologize. Let me just get them back. Sorry. Yeah, we're back now.
this is what we said last time, that this cabinet may be but also to manipulate elections. We want them. But we also want to warn civil servants, be vigilant. These people have followed every stream of revenue the country is doing, and they put somebody there. So that's what people they were mad to steal money.
Zimai, there's an echo coming from your side.
Is there an echo?
Sorry. Yeah, you are moving around or something like that. Yes.
Okay, my apologies. My apologies. I think it's Comrade Gome. Maybe we need to round up so that we can get the best out of this. We need maybe to give it 5 or so minutes so we can round up. We can come back again, because I don't want us to lose the quality of what is being delivered through connection or disconnection. How is that, folks?
I think that is fine. And ladies and gentlemen, as soon as Comrade Clive Malunga comes up, Zimai will be restarting the space, and those who are following us, you will be able to know that Clive Malunga is there in the house. We will reopen the space so you can be able to engage. But Comrade Gongwe is still on the line. Briefly there, Comrade Gongwe, I was just playing this in 2017. That was Chris Muchangwa talking, about these issues of family members getting a cabinet that is failing to advise each other, and income streams in the country only favoring the few. What is your take, Comrade Gongwe? If you had Tungwarara. Tungwarara has said that each province has been offered $150,000 for war veterans, and we calculated the amount to be $44 for each war veteran, which these war veterans are supposed to borrow $44 from the government, and they retain it, of course, with no interest. What is your take, briefly, when it comes to this, in terms of, is it really a joke, or is it a joke? Well, what would you say, Comrade Gongwe?
According to me, it's an insult to our war veterans. It's a joke. How can you give someone who has fought for this country $44? It's an insult, according to me. We need to respect our war veterans, because they've done a good job, whereby we got the freedom that we have. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of everything was as a result of the war veterans who fought for this country. And some of them, they even perished. Msango Mesom, you see. So it's an insult. As I see people celebrating, giving people $44. It's a pity. Sure, it's a pity.
Yeah, and we are running out of time now, guys, and because we would want to restart the space as soon as we get hold of Comrade Clive Malunga coming up today to speak to Zimbabwe. So I see 2 hands are still up. Guys, I do not know what you still need to engage with Comrade Gongwe, but because we respect each other, we will simply give you 30 seconds, and then you can ask your question quickly. Please don't make a submission. Just ask your question so Comrade Gongwe can answer you, and then we will restart the space. As soon as you see Zima and me up here again, you know that Clive Malunga's connection has been sorted out, and he will be speaking to the nation. All right. So, Signora, you can go ahead. 30 seconds asking your question.
Yeah, let's just a quick one, straight to the point. My brother, he said your title is what, by the way, at the provincial district level?
District level, secretary for local government.
I'll tell you what, we want Mnangagwa to go. This is a very straight point. And I'm sure Simba wrote to you, Seruk. You are not doing anything bad, but I think keep doing what you are doing there. We are not going to tell it to be convinced anything. I could be wrong. I told you I understand protocol. It's either your intelligence or there are people who are feeding you there to dilute this. It's okay. This is your position as ZANU-PF. We have a position as citizens. And that being said, I really appreciate what you said. And I'm energizing everybody who understands exactly we are not zeroing on the 2030. The 2030 is the lead to the story, which is dynasty, monarchy. To us, 2030 story is the lead to the ousting of ZANU-PF. So we cannot really reconcile anyway. I would like to use my mic for now. Many thanks.
Okay, thank you. For those who are requesting, guys, I apologize. We would need to. We will only reopen when with the connection to Clive Malunga has been restored. Fernando, you will be the last one to engage with Comrade Gongwe. Then I'm going back to the host, Zimai. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining Zimai and for joining me, Hulu at Pachiso Live. Fernando, please go ahead and Zimai take over after that.
Comrade Gomwe, this one is very short. It's basically I need clarity on this thing. Like, what do you think as a war veteran? Why do you think that Idi Mnangagwa is rushing this war ED 2013, 2025, or 2024? Couldn't he have waited for 2027 instead? Some people say that he's doing that to buy time for his son to reach 40 years old to be a president.
Well, I'm not too sure of that. The information that I got is people they want Comrade Mnangagwa. The few individuals, in fact, to be precise, the few individuals, those who are benefiting from that. And if you, from the look of things, this agenda is being pushed by people who lost elections in ZANU-PF. You see, so these people who are pushing this agenda, they want President Mnangagwa to go beyond 28 so that they can get protection and also that they could be brought back again in the system as a benefit of extension of President Mnangagwa's office. Because they know very well that at the grassroots, people no longer want their services. So here's the reason why they are pushing that agenda. But the people of Zimbabwe have spoken. They are saying, we don't want that agenda. We love President Mnangagwa, but our love for President Mnangagwa is not blinkered. We love to see his legacy to be discussed in future by our grandchildren, that there was Comrade Mnangagwa who was the president of Zimbabwe for 2 terms from 2018 to 2028. You see, so that's all what we are advocating. We're actually giving as an advice to say, the president, as he rightfully said that he is a constitutionalist, he sticks and abides by the constitution of Zimbabwe, which clearly states that the president who can be only in the office of the president, #1 position, for 2 terms only.
Right, Zimai, back to you.
Wow. Now these are deep thoughts. Hulu. I think people really want to engage. I'm not just noticing that our numbers have grown. We are now at I think 1,600 people live, 1.4 on video, and on Spaces here we are 179. You know, I'm finding this quite I think quite deep, and I'm just wondering if we could cut and then we will reconnect when Comrade Malunga comes up, Clive Malunga comes up. But also when even any other war veteran comes up. We have many war veterans, and I also have some war veterans in Kwabulawayo who have submitted, who have got videos that I wanted to play. Also, Hulu. We seem to be only confining our contributions from Mashonaland, which is not fair. We need to have the whole country, all war veterans being accommodated. So let me try, if I manage in the next 5 minutes, Hulu, to bring up some of those videos. We'll be playing them at the end so they speak. We couldn't put them on live, but we've got a collage of their video contributions. The war veterans leadership in Bulawayo, many who are from the ZIPRA, which was the largest contributor, the largest and arguably the most powerful military arm of the liberation struggle. And I don't think anyone can dispute that. And does anyone dispute that ZIPRA was the original liberation arm? Where I come from in Mount Darwin, they didn't know anyone who was called Robert Mugabe. They knew Chibwe Chitedza. And yeah, it was Zigano.
Just a quick one. I think maybe Dr. Emmanuel Moyana would want to probably just say something to Comrade Gome. I don't know if Comrade Gome is still on the line.
Absolutely.
Just a quick one, and I think it is better if we cut after that, and then as soon as we pop up again, for those who are following us, as soon as we pop up again, you will know that Clive Malunga is now speaking to Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be much better instead of extending it.
Absolutely, we need to give people a bit of a break because it's quite early morning that we have had this session, and if people can then at least do other things and multitask, and then we can come back later.
Exactly.
That will be only healthy, because these are topics that are so emotional, and when people start talking, they won't want to stop because it's affecting their lives. You know, when our comrade was speaking yesterday, I could feel the emotions, I could relate, and I can tell you something I forgot to say last night, Hulu, before Dr. Moyana speaks. When I have been out on the go in other countries, fighting to bring some of the hardest news, when confronting Vanamu Denda, Vanamu Tuli, and all sorts, traveling. Do you know what? Some of the most dangerous work that I've done, that some of you end up and you wonder, how did you get there? Every time when that happens, Hulu, do you realize that ndinonzwa kamwe kakurerukirwa, ndinonzwa pamapendeketa angu apa ndakatakura mweya yevanhu? It's like, do you know, everything will be going smooth, so this is not kind of bodyguard, and things are just happening, and I'm wondering, why are things so magic? So I think the cries of our people are so deep, and you feel them on these spaces. What we just need to do is wisdom to manage, so that in terms of time and resources, when people speak out like this, we also give people a bit of a break and people come back. And the way I've been doing my journalism over the years is also for people to monitor their grievances. So next year we'll bring you back again. I think Freelance will remember this. I've been doing this consistently, and sometimes I've even used my own money to get a few resources here and there, my lawyers here and there, so that these matters we can at least see progress. So that's what we want to do. Let's get Dr. Is it gone? Is the doctor gone?
Yeah, the Dr. Moyana's network, I think, has just fallen. But Tongai has not said a word, and he is the only one on the speaker.
That's not fair. Yeah.
And Tongai, we can just give you the 30 seconds. So maybe there's something burning you want to share with the people. But the space will be cut, and as soon as you see Zimai and myself popping up again on the spaces today, then you know that Clive Malunga is speaking to Zimbabwe. War veterans Clive Malunga is the one that we are hoping to be connecting with from Harare. All right, Tongai, please go ahead.
So as Tongai is speaking, can Tongai also be addressing Comrade Gome, because we still have him on video? We don't want to for him just to be idle. Let's use him. He's someone aripa ground. Arimo chaipo chaipo. who is in the middle of the warfare. So it's a huge privilege to have someone who is inside the actual struggle of for the people.
Okay, so I would like to thank you, Comrade Gongwe, for the time you have come to speak to the people. You may join again later if we get hold of war veteran Clive Malunga, but Zimai, Tongai's network has also collapsed now. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will be cutting off the space, and as soon as you see us popping up today, then you must know that Clive Malunga is speaking to Zimbabwe. Of course, it is something that we're waiting to hear from. And thank you very much for joining Zimai and for joining me. And may you be blessed, and may our country, Zimbabwe, continue to be blessed. Zimai, please take over.
Thank you very much. Well, here we are. Right. Comrade Goma, would you like to give us your last remarks? I'm hoping that you could maybe perhaps emphasize your last areas there, besides of giving us a glimpse into the DNA or the identity of these individuals. You are very behind this move. And yes, some of these characters I have interacted with directly, and it's important for our people to know who they are, who are behind this move, so that they can question directly. But just drop us into that as you close. You're going to be the close. We call the curtain. There's a curtain raiser and the curtain what? Curtain closer, right? Curtain shutter, right? So be our curtain shutter, Comrade Gomwe, as you wave goodbye to our viewers, readers, and listeners in Zimbabweans in and around the country.
All right, Simba. The people who are pushing for that agenda, the 2030 agenda to extend President Mnangagwa's term, the majority of them, they have lost elections, like I highlighted earlier. And the provincial chairpersons also, they are also saying the same things. They are not really telling the leadership the truth. The grassroots, they are not happy with their conduct. They are not happy. They are claiming that they are representing the people of Zimbabwe. They are representing grassroots structures of ZANU-PF, while the grassroots really don't want the agenda to be moved forward. They just believe in continuity. They just believe in that our constitution must be respected, so much that it paves ways for another person as a way of showing democracy. These people, they are preaching about the Vision 2030, but also they are forgetting that they are also violating the cardinal values of Vision 2030. One of the few cardinal values of Vision 2030 is constitutionalism. Our constitution is sacrosanct, thereby it must be respected. It's one of the cardinal values of Vision 2030. The second cardinal value of Vision 2030 talks about democracy. You don't need to have democracy. Elections being done on time, presidential, local authority, and parliamentary being done on time, free and fair. So if you now decide that you need to extend someone's term of office, which means you are also affecting one of the cardinal values of democracy of Vision 2030. These are the cardinal values which makes the Vision 2030 to be achieved, you see. So the another one again is 70 leadership. Leadership should be our leaders should be listening leaders, you see. So the people of Zimbabwe, the grassroots from the structures, everyone, not only from ZANU-PF, but the generality of Zimbabweans, they are saying we don't want to extend presidential term of office. The reason why we have a constitution, 2013 constitution, which clearly states that president should only be in office for 2 terms, whether continuous or not. It clearly means that that's what the majority wants. Remember, the constitution was voted by almost 94% of population of Zimbabwe, you see. So that's the reason why we are saying the generality of people wants the President Mnangagwa to go after he has finished his 2 terms. That's all what we want. That's what we respect. We, the people of Zimbabwe, or I myself as Gifford, I'm not saying president should leave now, but I'm saying the constitution forbids him to go beyond 2028, because if you want to, yes, the constitution provide steps for it to be amended, but those steps are also costly to the people of Zimbabwe, because we have a number of issues that we are not be able to sort it out or to fulfill just because we have limited resources in our country. But we cannot then channel a huge chunk of money just for a referendum which benefits the first family. To me, it's a big no. So I'm saying to the people of Zimbabwe, let's speak with one voice. Let's abide to our constitution. Let's hold our leadership responsible. Say and demand respect that we need you to respect our constitution. We voted you into power. We are the masses. We have the power. We determine tomorrow who is supposed to take over the reins of a president. So we also demand to be respected. Our feelings, our views, as well as the constitution that we've enacted in 2013 with the provisions that the president should only hold office for 2 terms only. That's all I can say, Simba.
Well, thank you very much. Hulu, I think we're going to need to cut. Thank you very much, our viewers. Vanessa's here we are. Yes. We're going to be back as soon as possible. We need to give people a recess. It's been early morning, a very, very, very long morning. I think we've been here for over three hours or so, right? Speaking on and on, long and on. Right, once our war veteran comes in at any time, so if you haven't subscribed, then you won't be part of it. Right, any other war veteran also who comes up, we're just going to go live at any time, where there are many that are going to be joining, across the country. So today, Chaka Chaya, we could call it a war veteran season. In the United Kingdom, war veterans, we would class them as the lords, right? These are the people who you could term the custodians, right, of the country. So when things go wrong, look, right? So quickly, I guess people can now understand why also that someone has proposed to pay them $44 loan per person. Maria Maria lunch. It's gonna be alone. Right. Okay, we're gonna be cutting shortly. Thank you so much. Thank you, Comrade Gom. Let's speak soon.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Terera imitemo yose nenzira dzakanaka tisawa tinotora zvinhu zvemasi yetu tuserai zvinhu zvose zvatorwa kumuvengi taurai zvinetsika kuruzhinji rwevanhu kuti masinzwisise zvakanaka musangano bhadharai zvamunotenga nenzira dzakanaka mudzosere zvinhu zvose zvamunenge matora tisaita zveupombwe muhondo yechimurenga tisanetse vasungwa vatinenge tabata aiya ndiwo mashoko akataurwa kare naivo vamamao vachitidzidzisa aiya ndiwo mashoko akataurwa kare naivo vamao vachitidzidzisa masi yetu zoserai zvinhu zvose zvatorwa kumuvengi taurai zvinetsika kuruzhinji rwevanhu kuti masinzwisise swakananga musangano badala izva munotenga nenzira dzakanaka mudzosere zvinhu zvose zvamunenge matora tisaita zveupombwe muhondo yechimurenga tisanetse vasungwa vatinenge tabata aiya ndiwo mashoko akataurwa kare naivo vamamao vachitidzidzisa aiya ndiwo mashoko akataurwa kare naivo vamao vachitidzidzisa unenzira dzemasoya dzekuzvibata nadzo terera imitemo yose nenzira dzakanaka tisava tinotora zvinhu zvemhasi yedu tuserai zvinhu zvose zvatorwa kumuvengi taurai zvinetsika kuruzhinwe vanhu kuti vasinzwisise zvakananga musangano bhadharai zvamunotenga nenzira dzakanaka mutusere zvinhu zvose zvamunenge matora tisaita seupombwe muhondo yechimurenga tisanetse vasungwa vatinenge tabata aya ndiwo mashoko akataurwa kare naivo vamao vachitidzidzisa tinotora zvinhu zvemhasi yedu tuserai zvinhu zvose zvatorwa kumuvengi taurai zvinetsika kuruzhinwe vanhu kuti vasinzwisise zvakananga musangano bhadharai zvamunotenga nenzira dzakanaka mutusere zvinhu zvose zvamunenge matora tisaita seupombwe muhondo yechimurenga tisanetse vasungwa vatinenge tabata aya ndiwo mashoko akataurwa kare naivo vamao vachitidzidzisa masoja dzekuzvibata nadzo tererai mitemo yose nenzira dzakanaka tisava tinotora zvinhu zvemhasi yedu toserai zvinhu zvose zvatorwa kumuvengi taurai zvinetsika kuruzhinji wevanhu kuti masinzwisise zvakananga musangano bhadharai zvamunotenga nenzira dzakanaka mudzosere zvinhu zvose zvamunenge matora tisaita zveupombwe muhondo yechimurenga tisanetse vasungwa vatinenge tabata aya ndiwo mashoko akataurwa kare naivo vamao vachitidzidzisa aya ndiwo mashoko akataurwa kare naivo vamao vachitidzidzisa kune nzira dzemasoja dzekuzvibata nadzo kuterera imitemo yose nenzira dzakanaka tisava tinotora zvinhu zvemasi yedu dzoserai zvinhu zvose zvatorwa kumuvengi taurai zvinetsika kuruzhinji rwevanhu kuti mazinzwisise zvakananga musangano bhadharai zvamunotenga nenzira dzakanaka mudzosere zvinhu zvose zvamunenge matora tisaita zveupombwe muhondo yechimurenga tisanetse vasungwa vatinenge tabata aya ndiwo mashoko